So I want to stop talking about Stellar Blade, but I'm not allowed. Okay, I'm literally not allowed because a video game that is absolutely no different than anything that even America produced in the early 2000s or heck, even 2010 is now mind blowing all of these journalists and professional influencers that just a couple of months ago were clapping at the bear sex scene from Baldur's Gate. All these people who have no problem with the pecs of Kratos from God of War and they're salivating at the Starion, all of them now are pretending as if the world is imploding. As if, I don't know, the coming of the Antichrist has been signaled because someone had the audacity to put a feminine character in a video game. You know, and let's not pretend that this is about like hypersexuality or some nonsense. The West in recent memory has been renowned for pumping androgyny into video games. And it's not just that the model of what they consider to be the female characters look androgynous, but I know for a fact that they're using male animations for their female models. Like, it's not that expensive to make a female animation, right? To have a woman just walk around and then use that animation on your feminine model. They don't even do that. They use male characters, they use male actors in order to animate their female characters. And it looks like shit. It looks uncanny. It looks wrong. And this is what people are complaining when they're saying, you know, like they're playing Diablo or they're playing other games and the female characters like look so masculine and people are saying it's ugly and they go like, no, beauty is subjective. What you consider ugly, other people are lusting for. And it's like, no, okay, no, absolutely not. I'm sorry, you know, like if it was subjective, statistically speaking, you would get it right every now and then. But anyway, right, I digress. This is what's happening, right? So when you have like a video game which actually does use a sexy female character, and it's also a new IP, right? Because if this was like Bayonetta, or if it was Nier Automata, no one would care, right? But because it's a new IP and it's successful, that's also important, right? If this wasn't successful, no one would talk about it. But because it's successful, all of a sudden they're freaking out and it's like, oh, Dios mío, oh, the sexismus, oh, it's hurting me. Oh, honestly, like sexismus for video game journalists is like water to a witch. I genuinely don't understand. Their definition and understanding of sexismus is also completely detached and disconnecting from the rest of us normal people. So as you can see here, right, like Yahoo is upset because Stellar Blade is sexist. I love how they just decreed it, right? It was decreed that it is sexist. By whom? The sexist Pope? Like, do you journalists have access to, like, the sexist God that, you know, like Moses came down from the mountains with the tablets saying that Stellar Blade is sexist? Who gets to decide that Stellar Blade is sexist? Why do you make this statement? And if Stellar Blade is sexist, how does it influence women from the real world? Huh? Like, there is probably a struggling lady in Gaza who is trying to protect her children. How is the release of Stellar Blade affecting her? It's a fucking video game, right? Like, why are you acting as if it's like the Democrats issuing some new legislation? Why is this, like, why do we have to pretend? Why do we have to play into the delusion of the video game journalists who just gets to say, well, this is sexist, and therefore it's implied that it's harmful, right? When the Republicans say that video games cause violence, and this is what Trump said in his last 4 years, immediately the journalists were like, oh my god, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, we have studies that show that it doesn't. So video games cause violence, that's a bad argument, right? But video games cause sexism, no, that's a serious argument. That's something that we all need to be concerned about. Okay, so the developer doesn't see the problem. Yeah, it doesn't see the problem because it thinks, rightfully so, that in a liberal and just society, you have the right to whine and complain, but he also has the right to make money. And most of the people in the market prefer to play video games with pretty women. And women included, by the way. So during Sony's last State of Play presentation, we were able to discover a long trailer for Stellar Blade. And there is something striking when you look closely at the images of this aesthetically successful action game. The heroine is ultra sexy. I find it interesting. Again, like, beauty is subjective, but for some reason they know that this is ultra sexy. You know how they switch definitions? My troll died. Did you notice that? You know, it's because my phone battery ran out, but you know what? I'm so pumped up right now, I don't even want to recharge my phone. It takes time. I will champion through. I just need to replace my troll with something. There we go. So, the heroine is ultra sexy. In less than 6 minutes, we see her wearing outfits, each more improbable than the last. I love the fact that, you know, like, she's spinning blades and does all this improbable acrobatic, but it's no. The outfit. The outfit has to be probable. It has to be probable. The message is clear. The more shorter, the more skin visible, the better. Yes, it's a game for adults, right? Now, if you have the mind of a child, journalist, it's possible, right? Don't play this game. It's not for you. Literally, it's not for you. I am so glad. You know, we need to gatekeep these video games. It's literally not for them. It is for mature people. It is for the adults. Us grown-ups in the room should be able to enjoy this game. You know, you can play, I mean, Pal World is for you. Pal World is for video game journalists. Go play that. Go play Pokemon or something, you know, more akin for your mental age. However, we are thinking about the character responsible for getting rid of an enemy threat in a post-apocalyptic context. Again, when the fan service is on the screen, you're supposed to turn your brain off, right? It's literally how it works. There's no more like, when you see the boobie on the screen, you don't go like, how does it fit in a post-apocalyptic no one fucking cares, okay? I already paid my money. I'm paying money for entertainment. I am so sick and tired of everyone that goes like, but the story, it has to, you know, like, it's fine. You know, like, certain people enjoy playing games for the story. That's true. If the story is there, that's great. But sometimes, I also like the fan service. You know, if you don't like it, that's fine. Maybe this game is not for you. Maybe you shouldn't play a mature game. Maybe you know, like, go play The Last of Us, which has great, amazing, rich and vibrant story, right? Like, go play something with the story. I want to play every now and then. I just want to play a video game like Bayonetta, when I don't give a fuck about the story. You know, like, the story is that, you know, I grew up with Mario. Mario didn't have a fucking story. I grew up with, Double Dragon. Double Dragon didn't have a fucking story. Why does everything need to have a story nowadays? You know, sometimes it's fine to just relax. Just play a game that has like a beautiful woman, does acrobatics, and has gameplay. I would rather play something with gameplay than a story. I know I'm being controversial. I know like some of you are like, oh, V, how dare you not enjoy this? I just don't, okay? Sometimes I do, you know, sometimes you have the Dragon Age. That's good. But sometimes I don't want the story. Like when you play League of Legends, does it have a fucking story? Yeah, it does. Do you care about it? No, you don't. So shut the fuck up. Everything needs to have a story nowadays. Leggings so close to the body that it feels like a second skin. Plunging neckline. All with angles, cameras, and animations that highlight the perfect silhouette of Eve. It is difficult not to see a sexualization of women. I mean that's great. If I buy a mature game, that's what I want to see. Like, if I buy a mature game and I don't see it, I get upset. I feel robbed. A practice which tended to disappear in the latest video game productions. Right? These individuals are so fucking obsessed with engineering the market. But even then, you know, you have gacha games like Nike, which, by the way, also has a great story. Speaking of stories, it has stories and boobies. But Nike and a lot of gacha games, they only have sexiness. That's it. Only have sexiness. And then they have stories, of course, you know, like it builds up on that. But like the sexiness is the main factor. And it pumps money like crazy. Like it's almost like, you know, you do minimum investment and you win the fucking jackpot. And the players are happy. The developers are happy. The game journalists are livid. However, this choice is 100% assumed by the developer with arguments that are beyond comprehension. And by the way, the arguments that are beyond comprehension for a journalist, right? You need to put the parenthesis, because for normal people, they are within comprehension. The developer says it's a mature game, And he wants not to play realism, like he doesn't want realism in his game, he wants fantasy. He wants to see things that are ideal rather than things that are realistic, right? Is that beyond comprehension? Can you guys comprehend it? Okay, good, because I comprehend it as well, right? So it's not just a me issue, right? It's a journalist issue. But again, like, the fact that all of these people are mind blown over a sexy character is laughable. In the age of OnlyFans, in the age of Twitch, like, if those things didn't exist, if VTubers didn't exist, they may have a point, right? But they don't go on OnlyFans and say, oh my god, you're sexist, how dare you? They don't give a shit, right? They don't go to Amoranth with that shit. They don't go to Shy Lily with that shit. But they're always going to game developers, especially Japanese or South Korean game developers, because all these journalists are fucking racist, chat. They are absolutely racist. There is no other explanation, right? They don't do this to Western game development. They don't do this to any other people. It's just like non-stop Asian games. And I would also say that they're childish as well, because they only pick on mature games. They only pick on mature games. They don't go to Candy Crush. They don't go to like point and click hidden object games to complain. No, every single fucking time it's like mature games. People need to start speaking out about it. You know, like, at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is pathologize the male gaze, right? They want young boys to feel that there is something inherently wrong with them. And I will tell you, right? If you're an 18-year-old lad and you like to play video games like Stellar Blade, there is nothing wrong with you. You're not an evil person. And do not let these people gaslight you into thinking that you are, because they are wrong and you are right. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.